Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the AEW Dynamite review. Dynamite tonight was from the UBS Arena in Elmont, in Long Island, here in New York. And what an awesome show this was tonight. Dynamite tonight was absolutely a good show, in my opinion. Very entertaining. The crowd there was hyped. They were loving what they saw tonight, of course. And this show just flew by, in my opinion. Like, right when we got to Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter in the women's quarterfinals for the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, I looked at the time and I was like, wow, it's 9:30? This show just flew by. But tonight on Dynamite, we had two Owen Hart Foundation tournament matches. This was the quarterfinals. We had two of the men's matches in the quarterfinals. We had Adam Cole versus Dax Harwood. And we also had Jeff Hardy versus Darby Allin, which was a anything goes match in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament cup, which was awesome. And we also saw CM Punk versus John Silver. Toni Nese versus Danhausen, which this was Danhausen's in-ring debut. We had the FTW Championship on the line where Ricky Starks defended the title against Jungle Boy. And we also had the Owen Hart Foundation Tournament quarterfinal match for the women, Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter. But overall, Dynamite tonight, awesome show. Very good show, very entertaining. But before I get into the review, if you guys haven't checked out my previous video that I uploaded earlier today, did another movie hunting video where I went to the Salvation Army, see if they had anything new for DVD, Blu-ray, and VHS wise. They didn't have any Blu-rays. It was mainly just DVD and VHS. They had a little amount in there. Decent little amount, but not a whole lot. Picked up one DVD there. But if you guys haven't checked out the video, definitely give it a watch. But let's jump right into the Dynamite review. Dynamite opened up tonight with the quarterfinal match in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Adam Cole versus Dax Harwood. And the winner of the match will get to face the winner of the main event in the semifinals in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. And this was a very good match here. Very enjoyable match between Cole and Harwood here. Match started off with Cole and Harwood. They were grappling. They were trying to gain an advantage of the match. Adam Cole was trying to beat down on Harwood. Harwood ended up chopping at Cole. Cole was able to take over and he delivered a neckbreaker to Harwood. After he hit the neckbreaker, he then drove Harwood into the top turnbuckle. Harwood then came back, started delivering some jabs to Adam Cole, and he then ended up looking to go for a sharpshooter, but Cole ended up stopping Harwood from locking in the sharpshooter on him. Adam Cole ended up launching Harwood across the ring and into the ring post. Cole ended up following Dax Harwood to the outside, to which Cole ended up sending Harwood into the stairs, the ring stairs, a couple of times. He just sent Harwood, crashing into the steps, a whole lot of times, banging Harwood up. So Cole ended up launching Harwood into the turnbuckles, and we had Harwood end up turning things around the match. He delivered a German suplex to Adam Cole, and Cole ended up responding with a German suplex of his own to Harwood. So Harwood ended up nailing a third suplex to Cole, which separated both of them inside the ring. So both Cole and Harwood at this point in the match were up on the top turnbuckle, and Adam Cole ended up getting sent down to the mat by Harwood. So Cole ended up rolling away to avoid the diving headbutt by Dax Harwood. Harwood ended up seeing it coming, and he ended up landing on his feet. He ended up catching Adam Cole in a slingshot powerbomb, which was awesome. So Harwood ended up going for the cover. Cole ended up kicking out. So we had Cole ended up turning things around with a brainbuster, and Harwood ended up kicking out of that. And Owen's family was present for Dynamite tonight. You had Owens' wife, his widow, Martha Hart there, along with the two kids, Oji and Athena. So all three of them were present for Dynamite tonight to honor the legacy of Owen, and also the this whole tournament done around Owen. We're calling it the Owen Hart Foundation Tournament. And Owen Hart, such a good wrestler who died young. He had his rivalry with, of course, his brother Bret Hart, which they end up feuding throughout the summer of 1994. He also won the 94 King of the Ring. And, of course, he had the famous match with him and Stone Cold Steve Austin at SummerSlam 97. That was the match where he botched and dropped Austin on the top of his head. And Austin ended up hurting his neck in the process. To which, thank God that Austin wasn't paralyzed for that. And then, his tragic death in 1999 at Over the Edge, where he ended up falling from the Raptors because he was doing the Blue Blazer gimmick. So, just a shock that happened. And it happened live on pay-per-view. Like, they didn't even show it. They just cut to the crowd, and then Jim Ross said what happened. Owen ended up falling from the Raptors, and something went wrong. And then later on in the pay-per-view, that's when JR ended up saying that Owen Hart passed away. But very tragic what happened to Owen. He died young. He was only 34 when he passed. So just real shame that night in Kansas City at the Over the Edge pay-per-view in 99. And also really happy to hear that Owen Hart is going to be featured in the AEW video game, which that is cool. So I'm glad that they're honoring him and putting him in the game. Not only doing this whole tournament, but actually featuring him in the upcoming AEW video game. And this wouldn't be happening in WWE because we all know, Martha wouldn't have allowed this in WWE because, of course, after the Over the Edge accident, the Harts tried to sue WWE, and went on for over a year and a half, and a settlement was reached the next year in 2000. And WWE actually gave the Hart family $18 million. And Martha ended up using millions of the settlement to establish the Owen Hart Foundation, to which is why, the foundation has been going since then. And, them calling, the tournament, the Owen Hart Foundation, Tournament Cup. So, and then we also got the WWE DVD that they released, which I was shocked when that DVD was announced that Martha probably ended up giving WWE the chance to release that DVD, which I don't own that DVD, which I should, but it's probably out of print and worth a lot of money. But I was really glad to see Owen's family there. Tony Khan ended up posting a photo with him and them on his social media. Really glad that they were there. And then we had a video showcasing Jeff Hardy and Darby Allin. They were talking about their match later on tonight in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. It was a qualifying match. It was an anything goes match also. So, weapons could be used. So, Darby ended up revealing that he asked Tony Khan for the rules to be waived. So that's why we got the anything goes stipulation in that match in the main event. And then we had CM Punk versus John Silver. This was a pretty decent match here. CM Punk ended up coming out, and Hangman Adam Page was on commentary during this match. So Punk headed out to the ring. He got boos from the crowd there on Long Island because they did not like Punk wearing a John Tavares jersey because Tavares was with the Islanders, and now he's with the Blackhawks. I'm not a hockey fan, so I don't follow hockey. I just I just heard from that. I think Tavares is with the Blackhawks, as I'm guessing, maybe. So then John Silver ended up coming out. So the match got underway. Silver ended up dropping Punk with a shoulder tackle. And Punk ended up going Silver to the outside. So Silver ended up attacking Punk in the corner to regain control of the match. Punk ended up managing to turn it around. He slowed down the pace of the match to piss off the fans. So Punk was only heel here just for tonight in Long Island. So we had Punk end up unloading kicks to Silver. Silver then ended up nailing a brainbuster, and he ended up going for the cover, to which Punk ended up kicking out. Silver stumbled into the corner, and he still managed to nail the Tornado DDT on Punk. So Silver went for the cover. Punk ended up kicking out. So Punk ended up staring at Hangman and Page on commentary, and he nailed the buckshot lariat to John Silver, which angered the hell out of Page. So as Punk got the buckshot lariat on Silver, he went for the cover, and Punk ended up winning the match. Post-match, Hangman and Page, who was furious at Punk using his finisher, the buckshot lariat, he charged down to the ring. So we had Punk and Page end up going face to face. Punk ended up getting on the mic. He ended up asking if Page is mad. He ended up saying that it looks like he's taking things personally. Punk ended up saying that he knows these fans don't like him, but it's not personal to him, and that it's just business. Punk ended up saying that he used to wake up every morning and ask himself if he's a good guy. So Punk ended up saying today he asked himself if he's the champ, and his answer was yes. Punk went on to say that he just destroyed Page's boy, and that was a blueprint. And at Double or Nothing, he will shake his hand, whether he is conscious or not. So then Punk offered his hand for Page to shake, but Page flipped off Punk, gave him the finger, and Page ended up leaving. So that was basically that, but it's going to be a good match between Page and Punk at Double or Nothing. Looking forward to it, and both guys are going to deliver. But overall, pretty good match from Punk and John Silver. And then we had Tony Schiavone. Tony Schiavone was backstage with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Rebel. Baker ended up saying that it makes sense she'd be facing the Joker, as it goes with the conspiracy. So we all know that there's going to be a Joker in both the men's tournament and the women's tournament in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. And my prediction for the men's Joker, who it might be, I said it could be Johnny Gargano, which hopefully it is. I think having Gargano as a Joker would be awesome, and him having compete in the tournament. Now, I said for the Joker for the woman, I said the Joker could be Candice LeRae. You could have Gargano and LeRae, be the two Jokers for the tournament. Have Gargano for the men, Candice LeRae for the woman. And now I'm thinking there could be a second prediction from me. So it could either be Candice LeRae, but Candice just came off of having a child, so if it's not Candice, my second prediction would have to be Athena, Amber Moon. So it could either be, those two. But it would be cool if Gargano and Candice LeRae were both, the Jokers in the tournament. So I think that would be pretty cool. But Baker ended up saying storms pass, and tonight is over. And there's some Jamie Hayter on the forecast. So that's what Britt Baker had to say. And then we had Danhausen versus Toni Nese. Danhausen making his in-ring debut against Toni Nese. So Toni Nese ended up flexing. He was in there with Mark Sterling. So it led to Danhausen trying to set up a curse on Toni Nese, but Mark Sterling ended up getting on the ring apron to distract Danhausen. And, he did the curse. Danhausen did the curse on Toni Nese. Then he went to Mark Sterling, and that caused Toni Nese to take down Danhausen. He followed up with a running knee, and he ended up getting the win. So Toni Nese ended up winning the match. This match lasted 20 seconds. So, first match for Danhausen in his in-ring debut, already lost. So then post-match, Mark Sterling got on the mic. He mocked Danhausen. He was asking Toni Nese how he feels about the fact Danhausen got an entrance and Toni Nese didn't. So Toni Nese ended up doing the knee strike on Danhausen again. Mark Sterling ended up telling Toni Nese to hit the running knee again. And so Hook ended up making his way out. Toni Nese and Mark Sterling end up making their way out of the ring. Danhausen then extended his hand out to Hook, and Hook ended up shaking it, and that was that. So Hookhausen, the fans, love, Hook and Danhausen in there. They came up with the name Hookhausen. So it looks like Danhausen and Hook are going to be, possible tag team. So that was that. But Danhausen loses his in-ring debut to Toni Nese. And then we had the MJF and Wardlow contract signing for the match at Double or Nothing. So Wardlow made his way out, and he came out with security. And what was really funny was, on the screen in the background, it said, "Boo Wardlow," which I thought was funny. And then we went to a Dark Side of the Ring parody with MJF retelling the events of him and Wardlow. And I thought that was very funny. You had Chris Jericho end up narrating on that. Which, sad that Dark Side of the Ring has been canceled by Vice TV. Which I heard they're going to be working on a new wrestling series. But Dark Side of the Ring was very enjoyable. And then we had MJF end up coming out. MJF got, a crowd full of cheers tonight because this was in MJF's hometown of Long Island. And this was the one night where MJF was a baby face. Because the crowd ended up loving him. Like I said, this was in his hometown. So MJF ended up getting on the mic. He ended up saying that this is an underdog story, which he was linking it to David vs. Goliath. He ended up saying that he will let Wardlow out of his contract if he wins at Double or Nothing. MJF ended up claiming that he doesn't want the people to boo Wardlow out of the arena when he speaks. But as soon as Wardlow tried to speak, the fans end up booing him. So then MJF ended up asking the fans if he should let Wardlow speak, to which the fans screamed no. So MJF ended up deciding for Wardlow to not speak. And MJF ended up saying that this goes back to what Wardlow did to his best friend, Cody Rhodes. So Cody was mentioned on Dynamite tonight, even though Cody is with WWE now. So MJF ended up asking the fans if they want to talk about 2024, because that's the year that MJF's contract is up with AEW, and he starts throwing out there, in 2024, I'm going to sign with WWE, which I hope not. I don't want to see MJF go to WWE because the promos that he does here in AEW, you would not see that if he signs with WWE. He would be getting scripted promos written by WWE Creative and approved by Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard. God, I hope MJF doesn't sign with WWE come that year in 2024. I hope not. MJF should be a AEW lifer. So he ended up mentioning about 2024. He ended up saying, neither does the guy in the back know. Which, of course, he was talking about Tony Khan. So MJF ended up saying that Wardlow is going to get whipped. And Shawn Spears ended up laying out the 10 like that. So this is all, just like what they did with Cody Rhodes, where Cody Rhodes ended up getting the 10 lashes to him. And that's what Wardlow is going to get now. So MJF ended up saying that if Wardlow gets past the whips, then he has to wrestle Shawn Spears inside a steel cage. So MJF ended up pointing out that Wardlow is 0-2 in a cage match. And MJF ended up saying that the match will also have a special guest referee. And the special guest referee will be him. So MJF ended up saying that if Wardlow gets past that, then Wardlow gets the match with MJF. To which MJF ended up saying that if Wardlow loses the match, Wardlow will never be allowed to sign a AEW contract forever. So Wardlow ended up claiming that he can't sign without being uncuffed. So MJF ended up allowing it to happen. So Wardlow was uncuffed. Wardlow then ended up signing the contract. And then Wardlow destroyed all of the security inside of the ring. He took out Shawn Spears. Spears ended up holding a chair later on, which was a white chair. So only MJF was left in there, but MJF couldn't escape the ring. So Wardlow ended up getting his hands on MJF, to which then Mark Sterling leapt onto Wardlow's back. Wardlow ended up tossing Mark Sterling off his back, and it allowed MJF to get out of the ring. So Wardlow then ended up setting up the table, and Wardlow powerbombed Mark Sterling through the table, and that was basically how the segment ended. Just MJF was just talking trash to Wardlow from the stage. But I thought this was a very good segment. I thought this was good television here. MJF and Wardlow's feud has been nothing but amazing with how they are booking this. And it's going to be a good match with MJF and Wardlow. So this whole feud has just been fantastic. And they're doing a great job with it. So now we got a video package of Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe was talking about facing the Joker in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. He ended up saying that if he wins the tournament, he is going for Jay Lethal. So there you go. Samoa Joe, if he wins the tournament, he's going to go for Jay Lethal. So that was basically that from Samoa Joe. And then we had Ricky Starks versus Jungle Boy. The FTW Championship was on the line. And this was a good match here. Match started off with Jungle Boy. He ended up throwing a few shots in at Ricky Starks to start the match. And both guys, they were exchanging quick holds. We had Ricky Starks end up catching Jungle Boy with a knee to his back. And Starks end up springboarding off the top rope to drag down Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy came back. He did the same thing to Ricky Starks by springboarding off the top rope. Starks then ended up hanging up Jungle Boy on the top rope, and he followed up with some stomps to Jungle Boy. So Starks ended up launching Jungle Boy to the ropes as he bounced back into a suplex across the ring. So Jungle Boy ended up striking at Ricky Starks. He then ended up hitting a DDT. Starks then ended up hitting the spear to Jungle Boy, and he ended up going for the cover, to which Jungle Boy ended up kicking out. So Jungle Boy went into the snare trap on Ricky Starks. Starks ended up managing to get his fingertip on the bottom rope. Starks ended up looking to grab the FTW Championship, and it led to Swerve Strickland coming out. So the official was talking to Swerve Strickland. So Jungle Boy ended up having the match won with a roll-up on Starks, and the referee wasn't paying attention. So then Starks ended up hitting the Rochambeau to Jungle Boy. He ended up going for the cover. And there you go. Ricky Starks ended up winning the match, retaining the FTW Championship. So Hobbs was also out there too. And then post-match, Christian Cage and Luchasaurus end up making their way down. So we had Christian Cage end up barging past Swerve Strickland. Swerve then ended up staring down Ricky Starks and Hobbs. And then Keith Lee ended up making his way down to the ring. So there was a point here where Christian ended up hugging Jungle Boy, and it looked like this is seeds planted for Christian Cage to turn heel. It's possibly going to happen at Double or Nothing. I think Christian Cage is going to turn heel on Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, as I see it, because we saw it right there tonight, what Christian did when he was with Jungle Boy. So it looks like Christian Cage is going to turn heel soon. So overall, it was a good match between Ricky Starks and Jungle Boy. And then we had the Jericho Appreciation Society victory speech. So Jericho Appreciation Society ended up coming out, and we had a podium that was set up in the ring. Matt Menard ended up asking if we want to know what makes his nipples hard. He ended up saying it's that he gets to stand here with the greatest faction in the world. And he was just shouting on the mic like nobody could hear him. So Jericho ended up pointing out that he's a hometown hero and that he was born down the road in Manhasset. But he quickly moved away because he ended up calling the place a dump. So Jericho was like, oh, if you all have a problem with that, how about I throw a fireball in your face? So then Jericho ended up claiming that he's a wizard. So, Jericho, did you learn that from Alexa Bliss when she did all that magic? So, Alexa Bliss taught you good, Jericho. Jericho ended up saying that he just burned Eddie Kingston's face. He ended up telling Kingston that he needs to stay at home to take care of his wife. And if she doesn't, she can give him a call. Eddie Kingston's wife could give Jericho a call. So Daniel Garcia ended up claiming that sports entertainers always get the win against wrestlers. And that led to Moxley coming out. Moxley, of course, knows Eddie Kingston. So Jericho ended up giving Moxley time to get out of here. To which Moxley didn't leave. So then Bryan Danielson and Wheeler Yuta and William Regal end up coming out the Blackpool Combat Club. So Jericho ended up pointing out the numbers advantage is still for them. So then Eddie Kingston, Santana and Ortiz were waiting. Eddie Kingston's side of his face was red, from the fireball. So it led to a brawl with all of these guys. William Regal ended up dropping Jericho on the outside, which that was pretty cool to see. And pretty much that was basically that. But this was a good segment here. Really enjoyed it. So you had, Kingston, Santana Ortiz, and Moxley coming out there in the Blackpool Combat Club. But good segment it was. And then we had the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament, the quarterfinal match. Toni Storm versus Jamie Hayter. Very good match this was. You had both Storm and Hayter end up locking up. Jamie Hayter ended up slapping Toni Storm, to which Toni Storm, did not like that. So Toni Storm ended up launching Jamie Hayter out of the ring. And Toni Storm mistakenly ended up putting Jamie Hayter back in the ring. So when Toni Storm got back in, Jamie Hayter just ended up smashing Toni Storm out to the floor with a knee. So on the outside, Jamie Hayter ended up nailing a snap suplex to Toni Storm. And then both women went back to the ring. And Jamie Hayter started continuing to attack Toni Storm. She launched Toni Storm into the turnbuckles. Toni Storm fought back with some chops to Jamie Hayter. Both women were looking to go for elbow strikes, to which both women went down. Toni Storm ended up charging in with a hip attack in the corner to Jamie Hayter. She ended up planting Jamie Hayter with a DDT. And then on the outside, Toni Storm ended up nailing Jamie Hayter with another DDT. So both women went back to the ring. Toni Storm ended up connecting with a crossbody, but Jamie Hayter ended up responding and she delivered a backbreaker to Toni Storm. Both women were brawling on the ring apron, and Jamie Hayter ended up slamming Toni Storm down onto the apron. Jamie Hayter ended up connecting with a superplex from the top rope, and Toni Storm ended up looking to go for some roll-ups. And as Jamie Hayter ended up trying to kick out, she ended up rolling into a Storm Zero by Toni Storm. So with that, Toni Storm ended up getting the win. So Toni Storm is moving on in the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament in semifinals. So knew Toni Storm was going to win the match. Knew she was going to advance in this tournament. So good on Toni Storm. Toni Storm is that entertaining in the ring. Very good wrestler she is. And then we have Frankie Kazarian backstage. Frankie Kazarian was getting interviewed, but he got interrupted by Sammy Guevara. Of course, Guevara was with Tay Conti. Guevara ended up claiming to Frankie Kazarian that Scorpio Sky is going to stab him in the back. So Frankie Kazarian ended up telling Sammy Guevara that he trusts himself, and that's all he needs. So he ended up telling Sammy Guevara to walk off, and then Frankie Kazarian was like, "Oh, and your vlogs suck." So that was that. Main event: Darby Allin versus Jeff Hardy, Owen Hart Foundation tournament quarterfinals match. Anything goes match here. And this was the best match of the night. This was a awesome, enjoyable match here. Both of these guys gave it all they got in this match. They end up destroying the hell out of themselves. So the match ended up starting. Darby Allin ended up drop kicking Jeff Hardy into the corner immediately as the bell rang. Darby Allin ended up launching himself out of the ring onto Jeff Hardy, which that looked awesome. So then Darby Allin ended up going under the ring. He retrieved a lot of chairs. He ended up creating a casket of chairs all lined up on the outside. So Jeff Hardy ended up tripping Darby Allin to headbutt, the stairs. So Darby Allin ended up crashing into the stairs. So Jeff Hardy ended up leaping from the ring apron. He ended up clotheslining Darby Allin, which that was a nice clothesline to Darby Allin. Darby Allin just sold the hell out of that clothesline. So Jeff Hardy then ended up hanging Darby Allin on the ropes. Jeff Hardy went under the ring. He retrieved a huge ladder, which he ended up putting the ladder in the ring. So Darby Allin ended up hitting the code red, and Jeff Hardy ended up kicking out. And there was a point where Jeff Hardy then opened up the ladder. Jeff Hardy ended up climbing up the ladder, but Darby climbed up and yanked Jeff Hardy. Jeff ended up landing awkwardly on the top rope as he spilled out onto the chairs that were on the outside. So Darby Allin, he was on the ladder. Darby Allin laid a senton atomico off the top of the ladder, and he went down to the floor through the chairs onto Jeff Hardy, which that was a awesome spot there. Great spot of Darby doing that senton atomico off the top of the ladder. And there was a point where both men end up going back to the ring. Jeff Hardy was on the ring apron. Darby Allin ended up climbing up to the top. He did the coffin drop. Jeff Hardy moved out of the way, so Darby Allin ended up getting the ring apron as he did the coffin drop. So Darby Allin ended up landing hard on the apron, to which the ring apron, we all know, is the hardest part of the ring. So you could tell Darby Allin felt that badly as he hit the ring apron. And there was another point where Jeff Hardy ended up laying Darby Allin on the side portion of the stairs. He hit up to the top rope. Jeff Hardy ended up heading up to the top rope. He went for the Swanton Bomb. Darby Allin moved out of the way, and Jeff ended up bouncing off of the stairs, which that was crazy. So Darby then ended up putting Jeff Hardy back into the ring. Darby Allin ended up connecting with the coffin drop. He ended up going for the pin, but Jeff ended up kicking out. Jeff then ended up reversing that into a pinfall attempt, and he ended up catching Darby. So there you go. Jeff Hardy ended up winning the match, and Jeff Hardy is moving on to the semifinals in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Overall, this was the best match of the night. This was a good main event, absolutely entertaining. Darby Allin and Jeff Hardy gave it all they got in this match, and both guys did amazing. Good wrestling here in this match, and just a lot of good, amazing spots from that Senton Atomico from Darby Allin off the top of the ladder through the chairs onto Jeff Hardy. Darby Allin just doing the coffin drop and hitting the ring apron. You could tell that had to hurt. And also Jeff Hardy going for the swanton and him bouncing off the stairs. Just very crazy match it was. But that was Dynamite tonight. Overall, very good show, very entertaining. The show flew by, and it was 2 hours worth of awesome wrestling, great TV. But anyways, that's it for my review of tonight's Dynamite. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and also be sure to check out my previous video that I uploaded earlier today, which was the movie hunting video when I went to the Salvation Army. So check that out if you guys haven't seen it. And until the next video, I'll see you all later.